I see this refers to a function within the Sklearn library. It's specifically designed to fetch and handle a dataset of faces, called labeled faces in the wild. It's a super useful tool for those working with facial recognition and image processing. Pretty cool, huh? This is the actual collection of data that the fetchlfwpairs function downloads. It doesn't just contain single images, instead, it provides pairs of face images. Each pair shows either two pictures of the same person or two pictures of different people. That's the core idea. I'll look more into the specific details. I'm repeating this to reinforce that we are working with a dataset of face image pairs, specifically designed for tasks involving comparing faces. For example, facial recognition tasks. This dataset is cleverly structured to help you build and test algorithms that determine whether two faces belong to the same individual. It's a really smart way to learn more about facial recognition. I see that you're curious about the target variable. It's not telling you the specific identity of each person in the images. Instead, it simply tells you whether the two images in a pair are of the same person or different people. That's the key information for this task. I really like this feature. The function is smart enough to download the dataset only once. After the first download, it saves a copy, a cache, so you don't have to wait for a download again. That's efficient. The images are pre-processed before being used. That means they're all converted to grayscale and resized to a consistent size. This makes it easier to process data further without concerning about differing image dimensions. Though, it's important to note parameters are customizable, so this isn't always guaranteed. The core idea here is that the dataset provides image pairs. Each pair shows either two pictures of the same individual or two images of different people. This dataset structure is designed for tasks involving facial recognition or image comparison. This is what we need to solve. We're examining this question to understand the function's key characteristics. The options given test if we fully understand how this function works. This function, fetch_lfw_pairs, is part of the Sklearn library. It's a handy tool for getting a dataset of face images. It's specifically designed to provide pairs of face images for tasks like comparing faces. I see that you are working with the Sklearn library's fetch_lfw_pairs function. This function is your tool for getting the labeled faces in the wild, LFW, pairs dataset. It's a popular choice for face recognition tasks. I will dive into what this function actually does and what data it produces. The fetch_lfw_pairs function usually downloads images that have already been resized and converted to grayscale. However, this is not a hard and fast rule. It depends on how you set the function's parameters. You can customize the size and color depth, but the default behavior is to provide consistent, pre-processed images. This is the core idea behind the LFW pairs dataset. What you get are image pairs. Some pairs show the same person, and others show different people. This setup is perfect for training algorithms to identify if two faces belong to the same person. Think of it like a who's who photo album, only with a twist. This statement is incorrect. The target variable, the label associated with each image pair, doesn't tell you the names of the people. Instead, it simply indicates whether the two images in a given pair are of the same person or of two different people. It's a binary classification, same or different, not specific identities. I like this feature. The beauty of fetch_lfw_pairs is that it handles the download for you. Even better, it caches the data. That means if you run the function again, it'll load the dataset from your local cache instead of re-downloading it. This saves time and bandwidth. The LFW pairs dataset itself is a collection of face images. It is specifically designed for tasks involving face comparison and verification. This collection of images is not just random, it's curated and ready for analysis. The dataset is structured as pairs of images. Each pair contains two faces. The core question that the dataset is designed to answer for each pair is, are these two faces the same person or are they different people? For each pair of images, a target variable indicates whether the images depict the same person, a match, or different people, a mismatch. This binary classification, same or different, is crucial for training face recognition algorithms. I'm discussing the fetch_LFW_pairs function from the Sklearn library. This function is a tool to download and use a specific dataset of facial images. We're trying to figure out which statements correctly describe this fetch_LFW_pairs dataset and its behavior. Think of it as a multiple-choice quiz about the data. Here are some statements about the dataset. We'll determine which ones are true. This statement claims that the images in the dataset are all the same size and are grayscale, black and white. This one says that we get pairs of images, and each pair shows either the same person twice or two different people. This claims the dataset tells me the identity of each person in the images. This statement says that the function is smart enough to save the dataset after downloading it once, so it doesn't download it again every time I use it. Let's delve into the properties of the dataset itself. What kind of data do we have? How is it organized? Now, I will explain how the function fetch_LFW_pairs actually works. What does it do beyond just giving us the data? Does it perform any clever tricks to make things faster and easier? I'm talking about the fetchlfwpairs function from the Sklearn library. It's a really useful tool for getting a dataset of face images. This question tests your understanding of the fetchlfwpairs dataset and what it can do. One cool thing about fetchlfwpairs is that it automatically downloads the data and saves it for later use. You don't have to download it again and again. The function gives you a dataset. Think of it as a big collection of stuff. Specifically, the dataset contains pairs of images, not single images. Each pair is labeled to show if both images are of the same person or different people. That's the key. The images are pre-processed. They're all the same size and in grayscale, making them easier to use. The function cleverly uses a cache, like a temporary storage area, to save the downloaded images so you don't have to download them every time you use the function. I'm asking you to identify which statements correctly explain how the fetch_LFW_pairs function works and what's in its dataset. This is a multiple-choice question, testing your understanding. I'm focusing here on the key features of the dataset itself. What are its important properties? The dataset gives us pairs of face images. For each pair, you need to determine if they show the same person or different people. That's the core idea. The images have been prepared. They're all the same size and are in grayscale, making analysis easier. However, remember that these are default settings. They can be changed. Let's explore what the fetch_LFW_pairs function itself does. This function is smart. It downloads the dataset only once. The next time you use it, it will load the data from your computer's cache. This saves you time and bandwidth. The important information. The target variable tells us whether the two images in a pair are of the same person or not. It doesn't give us the names of the people.